All right, guys, drinking me Red Bull. Round 2 of working on the black Supra here. Parts are showing up from Real Street. Big shout out to Robert Del Angel. Thank you, brother, for getting everything. We've got everything except the brake pads and rotors. And the ID injectors were supposed to be here, but they're not here yet, and they keep getting pushed, so I'm hoping to see them soon. But this will allow me to at least get the fuel hanger in, get everything wired up, and pretty much done. So I'm waiting on some small things, but yeah, this will allow me to do a good bit, which makes me really freaking happy. So here's where we're at right now. I got the cover off and stuff. You guys saw all of this in the last video. Went ahead to unplug this. We're gonna have to snip this off and wire that into. What you need to do, I recommend buying one of these Lyle Tools. They're like 20 bucks. This one's starting to rust because it's been sitting out so long. Wish they'd make it out stainless or something else. Someone knows of a nicer one, but this works. Just takes a 14 millimeter on the top here. Just put a ratchet, and it's adjustable. It has like these little hooks on it here, and this allows you to remove this ring. So for years and years, I've seen people use hammers and everything else to remove this ring. I got this years ago. I forget who told me about this, but I got it years ago now, and it allows you to not damage the plastic ring around it. You can buy the rings new, but if you don't have to damage it, and it makes it easier to get off, so I'm actually able to apply torque to it by just, spinning it off. So let's try setting up the camera. So let's see if I can do this here. See if I can just set up the camera for y'all. All right, let's see if the camera will stay there. But this should, there you go. And again, it's getting pinched right there. It's the only downside. There's not much room, the way they offset it there, so let's put it in another spot. So do it like this and this. When you remove it, you just tighten this back up, put this down over it, and then pinched again. Again, move the wiring out of the way and then repeat. So it sucks. Usually this is really easy on some other Toyotas and other cars in general, but this Toyota has this little piece here that sticks out just enough just to be annoying. If it was just back probably 2 or 3 millimeters, it wouldn't be a problem. So yeah, not a big deal, because once you've done this a couple times, it should start spinning off. Not there yet. Come on, give it another try. See if I can get it this time, because it's getting, I can feel how loose it's getting already. Get that out of the way. There we go. I think we're there. Yep, I can get it by finger now. All right, come on. And there we go. The ring comes off, and you don't damage any of this stuff now. So none of those are damaged now. Comes off. I'm going to clean this up, clean out the threads too. One thing I like to show people too is, where is it? There we go. On the top of this ring, see if you guys can see this here. On the top of this ring right here, there's a little arrow. That arrow is to line up with the arrow inside the tank. So let me show you guys this. So when you install these rings, I fought with it for years too, and I just never pay attention, but there's a little arrow here that lines up with the arrow in the plastic tank. That's where you need to put it on and start. So that lines up the threads, and then you can start spinning it on. If you don't, you'll fight with it. And I did for years because I'm an idiot. Now, you know, years later, years experience later, it helps you a ton. So again, you can see it right here. Arrow, line them up. Now, we'll remove that, pull this off to the side. Now, when you remove this, there is a switch inside of here that you kind of have to bend and move around. There's just no way around it, especially when you use a PHR one too. There's also a rubber gasket, which I'll show you guys you need to reuse when using a PHR hanger. You can still buy that part number new from Toyota too. So if you don't have it or you lose it, don't freak out. I don't have the part number offhand. It doesn't really go bad, but if you don't have it, you can still buy it new for, I think, 8 to 10 bucks, so not a big deal. So we take this now. Actually, let's put the camera back down so you guys can see it. All right, it's easier to do it with 2 hands instead of 1, so you just pull it up through. And again, this should just be a single pump. You can tell someone's been in here, it's been modified already. I can just tell by looking at it, it's got a Walbro aftermarket pump on it already. Letting this drip for a second. Don't want it to get fuel over his car. There we go. These dang bags hold so much fuel. Letting it drip out. Put it back up. All right, now this piece here is what hangs up, which is your fuel lever sender. It gets stuck there on the edge. Again, put my hand under it. All right, so now this is out. We can tell this is a Walbro pump of some sort. They've got an aftermarket sleeve on it here too. I'm not even sure if that's an intake hose. There is some like this that you can put in tank. I'm not sure if that is, but you can see the kinking and stuff. I had to do it like this for years too. Nothing wrong with it. I had to do it, but I've seen these burst too many times and it's annoying. This is how I did it on Colton's car. It's how a lot of people do it. They look like they cut the bottom bracket off. You 100% do not need to do that to fit these pumps. You just need to bend it down, and this will actually fit in between. I'm not sure why they cut that. You can, but it's 100% not necessary. Again, I don't even know who did this, which is nothing wrong with it. Stuff was probably done years upon years ago. Crimp fittings here, nothing wrong with that too, but here is something I did want to show you. So this sleeving here, I can literally slide off, and this is your ground. So this is not meant or designed for in-tank fuel. See how that's swelled, like, can you almost hear it's like squishy almost? It absorbed all the moisture, absorbed all the alcohol in it, and it deteriorated. This is the ground for the fuel sender. If this would have hit something else, metal, ground it out, could have destroyed this. So that's stuff you don't want to do, and the reason why, I come over here, why I pin everything, and same thing with this Deutsch connector here. Now this rubber piece here could swell too, but it's not going to go anywhere. But I removed the rubber in the back, but there's a reason why I use hard plastic connectors inside the tank, right? Because of that reason. So like I don't have to worry about that coming loose. It's just plastic on plastic and then clips together. It's hard plastic that it doesn't absorb or have any issues in that manner. It'll keep it from causing any problems down the road. Could it happen? Will it happen is like one of those things. This obviously has been fine, but it's just peace of mind. I know Sean doesn't want to have to deal with anything side of the road issues of that nature. Same with this here for the fuel pumps. So that's the only thing I need to rob off this is the fuel level sender. You have to take this off, which has 2 little screws on the back. So these 2 here. Powerhouse Racing gives you 2 new bolts for it though. You just need to rob this, and I'll have to cut the wires here, which I'll cut it right up here. And you're going to reuse these wire here, and we're going to tap in. Again, we're just going to put a plug on it though, as we have it. So the rest, the pump, the hanger is going to go in there, and then we're going to rob this seal. This is the rubber seal right here. We need to take off. Again, you can buy this new if you want to, but these really don't go bad. It should keep a tight, firm fitting and to keep fuel smell to come up through the car, which we all don't want. That's the whole point. A reason we use in-tank and not an outside source is to keep it in a street car and to keep the smells from going inside the vehicle. So everything in the back of the tank is ready. Here is ready now too. So we've got everything ready here, good to go, zip tied away. Making the vacuum lines right now. Doing my actual favorite way. Now I did AN lines on my wife's car, but for years and years, I'm a huge supporter of this, is silicone lines, because you can literally have these rest against the manifold and they don't rip, burst, melt, nothing. I had them like this for years. What I do though is I use some 90-degree fittings. Now this was fortunate enough, his actually had a press-on fitting with an AN, 4AN up there. We use a MAC valve down here. I always bolt it. There's a factory bolt hole that's extra. It's a 12mm hole that you can use there. Down the top part of that there just so it looks prettier, but I just need to get mounted up. It has the water port already unfortunately blocked off, so it's a little bit in the way, but it angles it up. I then use these brass fittings. You can use plastic. I know a lot of guys do. I just use brass because it's one less failure point then. You know, he doesn't want to touch it, want to mess with it. They also have press fittings. I've seen those, have those. Use them, hate them, had them melt too many times, too close, too hot in these engine bays, had a million melt, don't like them. I actually have a ton of Vibrant line, the Vibrant press fittings, everything in there, just refuse to use them. I went to this, it doesn't look as pretty, but it's reliable, and that's what he's looking for, unless he wants to go full AN, and even then, you're talking a lot of fittings, a lot of money, just to really be bougie, but that's up to him too. I personally, this is what I like. It's effective, it works. If God forbid it does burst, another silicone line, get it on there, boom, ready to go. Super simple. Since this is a single wastegate, it makes it even easier. So we just got to plumb it over. So you go turbo down to the top port, that bottom port there. So at the very bottom actually goes to the top of the wastegate. This one here goes to the bottom of the wastegate. So I need to put this back in the lift, remove the old fittings and lines that are on it. And yeah, there's not much left to do. So besides waiting on the wiring harness and the last few little parts, we're really close. Since the parts are showing up today too, guys, I wanted to show you this. This is the fuel tube. So hold on here. There's the part number. See if you get that glare gone. All right. It's for this little guy right here. That part number is for this. So when you go underneath the car has like these little studs on it. All right. And Toyota use these little plastic pieces. Now I want to tell you this too. They don't fit in perfectly. So when you take the old ones out from being used, this area has been like smushed. So it does fit up nicely. But when you get a brand new one, it does not. It never fits up right, so I have to almost Dremel this down a little bit and then shove it up through. So yeah, not a big deal, but I just kind of force it up in there. Yeah, I know what someone's gonna say, but yeah. So that's the part number for these guys. They're like $2.50 a piece or $4, I forget, like $4 or $5, whatever bucks a piece. They're a little salty for a plastic piece, but you do need them, and it's nice. Some of them do survive, like this one survived, and you see how that just falls right in. So there's a difference. That's old one, falls right in, brand new one does not. So not sure why that is, but I guess it's just because of plastic over time. It's just nice to get these in case you need them, and it goes in really nice. All right, guys, so here's the one thing I don't like about AEM. I love the AEM box because it's, you know, $1,500, has everything built into it. It has a wideband built into it, it has all the controls you want, PWM, it has everything built into the box. It's perfect for that aspect. But I don't like this part. You have to register the ECU. You got to go online to a separate website that's different from AEM. They have an Infinity website. You have to register ECU, register the car. That's where you get updates for the ECU. It also tells you here now, I didn't get this back in the day, it tells you like, hey, before attempting to connect the ECU, make sure you have the most modern software on your computer and stuff before you upload it. So I need to make sure my laptop's up to date so I can get this car up and running. Just little things like that. And there's nothing wrong with it, but you have to register the ECU. And I get it. They do it for covering their ass, plain and simple. But I do like AEM box. You know, guys, I had one in my car. They're great. For $1,500, it's hard to beat. Now, if you want to go all out, I do love Haltech. I mean, yeah, it's like the end-all be-all, but the Nexus is $4,000, so different ball game. They have the Elite 2. I just don't like some of the add-ons with it. It's not my perfect scenario, but again, I'm open and honest about all of it. So again, I really like the AEM box for simplicity, but I think this might be the last one I do just because, you know, it looks like Haltech's going to have something out that's very comparable from the same price range coming soon. So I think I'm going to be going to that, but this will be a good box for the next 10 plus years. So yeah. All right, guys, so the rest of the parts showed up from Real Street. Excited right now. So inside of here, we have DBA rotors. I didn't know much about them until my buddies over at Gears and Gasoline kind of taught me more about them and the quality in this. So got some SopTech pads and some DBA rotors. These pads will add a little bit of noise, but not much. These are the street pads. I want to make sure it doesn't create too much brake dust or too much noise, but he wants the car to stop better. So unfortunately, when it comes to brakes, you're either going to get a really big pad or you need to get a little bit more aggressive compound. DBA rotors just seem to last forever. Coated already and just look good. Supras in general have a really good brake caliper, so I didn't feel the need to change that on this car. And the rest of the stuff here is just fuel system. Pretty much what this comes down to, fuel system and electronics. So we've got a Radium fuel rail. Absolutely gorgeous. I will say this, I get it, this is kind of Radium's niche thing, but the green top hats, can we please, bottom of my heart, I like this, I understand, but can we get some black top hats? I got a lot of guys, including myself, that I would like to see us black. We're going for a black theme. I get it, green's your thing. We don't want it. Same reason I ordered his fuel pressure regulator instead of the green top hat. I ordered it with black, fuel filter and stuff. I get this here. This is under the car. I'm okay with that. But the rest in the engine bay, this has got to be black. Personal opinion. We've got the Radium clamp too that holds a fuel filter. We don't do drilling around here. And unless you absolutely have to, I don't do drilling or marking up a body. It's a Mark IV Supra. I try to do as little damage as I can. Everything else is Vibrant, AEM, and then Walbro pumps. So we've got a AEM E85 sensor, we've got the IET sensor, fuel pressure, oil pressure, map sensor, and then, why do we have this extra sensor in here? I can't remember. And this is for the O2 sensor. We've got twin 450 pumps. We didn't do 525s because they have a huge draw, not needed for what he wants. These pumps, dual, will support over 1,000 horsepower. Still a little overkill, but I wanted to have it there. Pumps get, you know, don't have as much power over time. This will good for another 10 years or so. It's pretty insane. Have the install kits. I actually had extra clips here, so I'll just keep those for stock since I went ahead and installed these, so it works out. We've got all the fittings. This will be 100% brand new fittings from the tank up because it'll go right to the top of this, so there'll be nothing factory left. I like to remove completely 100% of the factory stuff. This way it's 100% E85 safe down to the pumps, the bags, the lines, the hanger. Everything is E85 safe. My big opinion on this is the fact that if you don't use 100% E85 safe components, that's what dirties up your injectors. That's what clogs your lines. That's what causes the fuel filter to get clogged up. Now, if you let the car sit for a year, I get it. But I personally have had cars sit like this for 3-4 months at a time. I'll go to take the filter off and it looks like new. Like it looks like there's never E85 in it. But that's using 100% E85 safe equipment. So big proponent in that, but I'm gonna shut up. And, well, before I do shut up, I want to show you guys this too, sorry. Phr Mounts. Again, I think I showed this maybe a little bit earlier, I can't remember. So if I didn't, there's that. That's the plastic piece, grommet. I think I already talked about it, so I'll shut up and get this installed and show you what it looks like with the hanger done and then install this inside the car. The other thing I want to show you guys is we got these stainless steel filters. These are from AI Automotive. These things are sweet. They're from Australia. Gets rid of the big bag and allows, well, pretty much a guaranteed for life bag and fits a small area, easier to get inside of a Supra. So these things work out really well too. All right, guys, so the stainless steel filters are on now. Got everything buttoned up here, so very, very happy with this. This is gonna go in much easier now, so let's go ahead and plop this down in. Again, you guys saw me take it out. Again, got the rubber O-ring up top there. Gonna put this down in. Having these stainless steel bags will make installing this a lot easier. It should. Now installing this kind of sucks. You got to bend this around, and for once I think I'm gonna set up the camera and show you this. It makes me cringe every time I have to do this, but it's just how it has to be done. All right, so you almost have to like swing this thing in, put that in first, sing that in, and then this piece here, look how much that's out. I hate this every time. This drives me nuts. You got to bend it in. God, I hate that every time. Bend it in, spin it back around now. But those stainless steel pumps, or those little filters, hopefully will make this a little bit easier. Trying to get it to sit in there real nice, real quick. See if I can get it. There we go, boom. Down in now. So the thing we need to do next is put this plastic ring back on, but that's it. Sits on there. Again, I love this setup. Again, it's already ready to go for the wiring then. Got the wiring sheathing there. Then we'll go ahead and start running fuel lines. Put this on, so this just presses on. We use the factory line that came here. Looks like someone replaced it actually. It's just a breather anyways. And yeah, we'll also do the fuel lever sender here too. We'll lug this on. So right here and here. Again, guys, reminder, this is a mil-spec connector. You spin this nut off and this all pops off, so the wiring all comes out. So anytime you need to remove the hanger, spin the nut, pop it off, and set it off to the side. Super easy. So now that we have the fuel hanger in, I start running the lines and stuff. I'll get this back up to show you guys because it's already ran, because you've seen me do that a bunch of times. And again, typical Radium fuel rail. I've got the direct mount Radium fuel pressure regulator, AEM fuel pressure sensor, and then they have that swivel at the bottom. Use a 90 directly to this. The reason I do it like this is no drilling on the car, nowhere to hold it. I've done it this way on my car, my wife's car, and it works out perfect, keeps it super simple. Then there's only one line. So there's one fitting back there at the tank, runs one single line. I can't talk here this morning. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Runs one single line, the whole way from the hanger in the back, the 9-degree fitting, the whole way up to that 6AN fitting there. So there's no break in the line. Just makes it simple. It puts it right up front too if you want to find any leaks or issues or problems, or if you need to unplug this, it's right there. It's not underneath the car, it's right up front, easy access. Again, is it necessary? No, but in my opinion, this is the best way to do it for a car that is sub 1200 horsepower. This is like the best setup. I love these direct mount regulators. This is good for 1200 liters per hour. So twin 525 pumps run perfect with this. That's what I've used for years, which is good for 1200 horsepower. So with 85, which is pretty darn impressive. Waiting for the injectors to show up here. The brakes did show up like I showed there in the video. So the brakes did show up, which makes me happy. I got to figure out which pedestal I'm going to use because I forget which size injector we got here. So I need to make sure which pedestal I'm going to use there. So I got to look that up online. I did run all the fuel lines and put all that on, so we'll get the car back up in the air and show you what that looks like. So starting here in the back, it comes out of the tank. I'm gonna make something here, but I don't wanna bend this over. In the past, even on my car, I bent this over and it almost causes like a kink in the line, so I'm trying to find something better. But I wanna hold this here so it keeps it at least tight. I don't use zip ties except for one spot, and I hate it, and I need to figure out a solution in the future for other cars, myself included. But if you can see up there, right there, it's the only spot where I have to use a zip tie to hold it up to the body. Again, you don't have to, I guess. You can let it free hang, but I want to keep it up against the body so it doesn't chafe against the subframe here. Once it comes down from up above there, it then comes down to your very first Phr mount. Again, this is the extra one you want to ask for when you get a Phr setup. Ask them for this extra mount. I always do because, one, it just looks nicer and it keeps your lines tucked up and out of the way. I would actually like to put one here too, but again, I almost feel like you're kinking the lines because you got to bring it over so far. It's got to come up and then route down. Doesn't really seem to be necessary, but would be nice. Maybe I'll start doing that. We'll see. I'll experiment on my car first. But comes down here, and then I had to put brand new clips on all of these. You know, these always break. The only one I could unfortunately reuse is this one, so the rest I had to buy him new ones and replace them. So new plastic clips are on there. And then I cut the line down so it's a perfect length. I don't like, so you can see here, there's no slack anywhere. I'm really picky about this. That's why I run the lines, cut it, remove it, and then go to the bench and tighten this up. I also, if you can see here, none of my fittings have any marks in them. I use proper AN tools when doing this, so there's no marks on your fittings. You'll never see it, but you know, your AN fittings are pretty and you don't want them marked up or destroyed. Then you got the Radium fuel filter mount here. Again, I like this because it bolts directly to the chassis, so I don't have to drill or do anything. The person doesn't worry about some random holes in their car. It bolts right up. It's in a factory location, works out great. And then for the return here, it runs right beside it. I'm using the clutch hole here. Now, do you need to do this? No, and a lot of automatics wouldn't have this. I'm using this to run through here. I'm gonna put a sleeve over this too, so again, chafing, doesn't matter because it's stainless steel underneath, but my pet peeve. I've done this on my car too. It just keeps the line up and out of the way, and it's gonna run from here directly up to that direct mount regulator, so it just keeps it really nice and tight and just tidy. I don't know, that's just the way I like to do it. So yeah, super happy with this. Honestly, I couldn't be happier. So next thing I think I'm going to do is, well, I guess that's done. Just make the line from there to there and then up to the regulator. I just need the injector so I can pop those in, make those lines, and heck, I mean, we're really close. I've just got to wait for the harness from Jose Valle at Kaizen Motorsports. I mean, I can get this thing cranked up and running. I'm super excited right now. So that is a good bit of what we got done, guys. Yeah, well, I mean, we're there. Like I said, the only thing else I have to do right now is also drill and tap this bad boy for the NPT air temp sensor and then for the map sensor. Keeping it super basic, keeping it up and easy and in there. So yeah, I'm gonna do that here today. I'm probably gonna have to order an adapter for the one port because it's like an M16 by 1.5. And again, I wanna keep it simple, wanna keep it in there and up and above. So yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate y'all staying with me and watching all this stuff. I really, really enjoy it. So yeah, thank you guys very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.